Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. Salesforce OrgFarm, boosting developer productivity with Heroku and AI. My name is Yadin Porter de Leon, head of customer advocacy and customer stories at Heroku. Hi, Salesforce. Such a fantastic team. I'm so glad that everyone came today to check this out. We've got a lot of really great material. So I'm going to get to it because we have so much to cover right now. So first, before we get started, as many of you have seen before, we have our forward-looking statement slide. This really just says, don't make any purchasing decisions based on any future stuff that we are talking about. Only make purchase decisions based on things that are currently available. So that is what the takeaway from this slide is. So without further ado, again, we're excited to have you on the webinar. Let's get to the two people that you really came to hear from, and that is Julian Duque, Principal Developer Advocate at Heroku, and Shiva Nibagata, VP Software Engineering at Salesforce, leader of the OrgFarm team. These two people are going to walk you through the content today. We're going to kick this off with Julian. Julian, take it away.
Yadin, thank you so much for that awesome introduction and for all of the attendees, people that are watching this webinar live, and those that are going to watch the recording. Thank you for coming and welcome. So we are on this new era where all the work is happening pretty much in one place. Slack has become the work operating system, and it's where you are out talking to your teammates, you are coordinating projects, and also you are interacting with agents. So Slack is the center where work is happening right now. It is transforming the employee experience and the productivity. And when you combine Slack with Heroku and Salesforce, things become way better. You are bringing existing applications and data and agents into Slack. You are delivering custom workflows at a scale, and you are really personalizing the employee experience. With Heroku, you can build Slack applications and integrate those applications with your data. Okay, now I have control. Thank you so much. Salesforce is one of the main users of both Heroku and Slack, and many of our operational tools live on Slack. And these very specific Salesforce apps run on Heroku. All the approvals that we have to do as employees, they live on Slack. The engineering agent, we are going to see a preview today with Shiva. So it's where all of the engineerings work and coordinate. Basecamp, our knowledge database, Einstein for all things AI. All of these applications are available in Slack, and they are hosted and running on Heroku. So Heroku is enabling this new way of working on Slack and Salesforce data. But what is Heroku? Heroku is the AI platform as a service. It's Salesforce fully managed platform to accelerate the delivery of agent-force solutions and custom AI applications in any language. These custom AI applications can be Slack applications, and in any language is all of the languages we support. We support JavaScript, we support Java, .NET, PHP, Go, Ruby, Python. So if you are working with any of these languages, you can build and deploy these applications to Heroku. For example, for Slack, you can use either the Node.js, the Bolt SDK for Node.js, or for Python, build this application hosted on Heroku and have them access directly from Slack. And Heroku is all about developer experience and developer productivity. You are going to accelerate the time to market. You are going to simplify operations because you are reducing the time you are spending on managing infrastructure, and you are letting our experts take care of that. And of course, Heroku is trust at a scale, and specifically the scale that we handle here internally at Salesforce. These agents and these applications that I showed you previously are being used by the 80,000 employees that Salesforce has. But also, the AI platform as a service is providing also primitives for you to build AI applications on Heroku. Those services were available this year and you can use them today. You have managed inference and agents. Pretty much is a simplified solution where you can provision AI models to your applications and you have access to an API to do inference, embeddings, and to also run agents supporting cloud models, Amazon Nova models, GPT OSS, and image generation. And you can also have access through the AI Studio from the Heroku dashboard. We also support MCP, so the Model Context Protocol, to extend those agents. You can deploy MCPs to Heroku, and you can use the MCPs that Heroku has to let the AI assistant that you are using for building to also control Heroku resources. You can use Heroku Postgres with the pgvector extension to have vector databases to build retrieval augmented generation pipelines. And we recently announced the pilot of Heroku Vibes. It's a Vibe code generation tool where you can create and build apps from the browser just using natural language. So you can take your idea from prompt to production. And the pilot is open. You can go to vibes.heroku.com, sign up for the pilot, and give it a try. And now, without further ado, I will give the space to Shivani Magada. So he's going to tell us a customer zero story, pretty much how Salesforce is using Heroku and all of these technologies to increase productivity in Slack.
Thank
Shiva,
you.
the floor is
Thank you
yours.
so much, William, for amazing overview of how Heroku is, what all features, what all things we are coming up in pilot, and what's coming in GA. It's a great overview of Heroku helping the customers. Today, my name is Shiva. I lead AI, analytics, and engineering excellence in Salesforce technology. And I'm going to walk through how me being an engineering leader, we leverage Salesforce on Salesforce and to solve all our engineering productivity problems, and primarily being the customer zero for Heroku. Okay, and let me quickly. So before I go over the technology, I would like to provide a overview of Salesforce engineering team at a glance. Like a Salesforce is wide, heterogeneous teams. We have so many teams across the globe. We have a lot of acquisitions also a part of Salesforce, like coming from Slack, MuleSoft, and all the places where every team brings various set of processes and technologies together, which actually really makes it much more complex and also very, very seamless productivity challenges that it provides. So we are on huge 15,000 employees across the globe, 2,000 plus teams, Scrum teams working on code bases, deploying features, and delivering value to customers. That actually, if you see, with that various heterogeneous nature of teams working and delivering, when we think about developer productivity, we always take a step back and see what are the phases, what are the phases that actually are most common in every team. This is our life cycle of a Salesforce developer. You always start from idea. You start an idea, you set up your machines, you go through an inner loop where the developers actually write the code and test on their local machines, kind of a model. And then you go, the multiple developers write the code and checks into common repository. You take, we actually build the code, deploy it into a test environment, which we call outer loop. Once the code is really good in multiple environments, we actually push that to scale loop, which is where all the production instances goes to all customers. This is a generic life cycle that we follow too, which most of you might be resonating as well. While we do that, the challenges are there and across all loops. When you think about making developers more productive, you have challenges in inner loop, challenges in outer loop, challenges in scale loop. Now, when we thought about starting Salesforce I think most of you might already know what a Salesforce org means, but I'll take a quick step. Across the inner loop and outer loop and scale loop, the Salesforce engineers, which are internal engineers, they develop all the product. Like a Salesforce org is a very secure and dedicated environment. When a customer or a company stores all the data, customizes the UI, and manages the business process. This is the Salesforce org. When you go to salesforce.com, developer.salesforce.com, and you want to try features of Salesforce, you actually are provided with a Salesforce org. How, when an engineer is modifying a code, adding a change, adding a feature to our product, they really need a Salesforce org, right? Like they need a Salesforce org at inner loop, they need a Salesforce org in outer loop, they need a Salesforce org in scale loop. That actually is a very deep internal commodity that every developer needs. And if you think about it, producing a quick Salesforce org to a developer quickly is a very huge boost to their productivity. That's when we started this something called OrgFarm. OrgFarm is an internal Salesforce application which is having a website, Slack application, and a database, and all the thing which actually simply helps automate a life cycle of an org. Always start from provisioning of an org, which is creating an org, to deprovision org, which is actually removing the org and all its various components and aspects. So that's a full life cycle. How do you manage org? All that is done by a farm of orgs. You have a farm in inner loop, you have a farm of orgs in outer loop, you have a farm of orgs in scale loop. When a developer comes to in the life cycle of development at that particular loop, they get an org and simply quickly able to solve it. And how do we do? We actually have a checkout process, internal checkout process. Developers can get an org, and we reuse a lot of setup recipes. And then for every org contains various set of features like marketing cloud, sales cloud, data cloud. All those various set of features are bundled into recipes, and simply provide configurations and bundles to ensure the orgs actually, when it comes from OrgFarm, they're really solid, and we provide developers to make them more productive. Now, when we thought about this farm concept and build that for internal developers and also to customers, we relied on Heroku. What are the key wins by hosting this OrgFarm on Heroku? This is an internal application in Salesforce where Heroku really helped us not focus on infrastructure, but actually focus on our development and deployment. We developed our application and we rely on Heroku. Heroku has this platform, like platform as service, which actually allowed a team to quickly build and iterate and scale the product, scale our infrastructure, scale our platform, OrgFarm platform very rapidly, without thinking about, hey, what exactly goes underneath the infrastructure. That helped us really bring the idea, experiment the problem, experiment on it, and leave production. We just started from idea to the experiment on, hey, whether we can really bring a farm few years ago, and we were able to quickly experiment it, and we are running the real workload also on Heroku. The key advantages that we learned and we have used in this whole journey of OrgFarm being on Heroku, I think, as I said, we focus more to rapid deployment of the features. We focus on the feature development, and then iterate faster, and then we have multiple easier ways to manage our environments, test environment, dev environment, and production environment and stage on Heroku very easily and quickly able to switch between environments. Then, not just hosting this application, OrgFarm application on production, we are able to, depending on the demand of orgs, checkouts coming from various loops, the demand sometimes increases. Like we had Dreamforce 2 weeks ago, huge demand on orgs because we want to show the customers want to try. We have easy way to scale our nodes, easy way to scale that through Heroku. And obviously, development and deployment comes with problems, troubleshooting, and Heroku provides very easy way to easy troubleshoot every single problem happening in infrastructure or our product with clear monitoring and logging. That are the key advantages we learned and we leverage Heroku. And there are many features we leverage on Heroku, but I think if I need to pick top 3 key Heroku features, we use private spaces. Very, very easy, very, very clear to put all our environments, our product, our code into various set of isolated environments, and very secure to govern that private space and provide that capability to my development team. Then we have dynos. We use containers. We have, as I said, OrgFarm is a web application, Slack application, and it has worker nodes, web and worker nodes. Very easy to increase dynos and leverage dynos to go in and do the job that we ask to run a recipe, create an org, deprovision org. All of them are running in dynos. Then all this happens with a strong database coming from Heroku Postgres. It has very easily, very reliable database service. We actually leverage that across all Heroku features. Now, I want to quickly give you an overview, very high level overview on how this happens behind the scenes. We have on left side, as I said, a Salesforce org contains all various business processes and features, marketing cloud, sales cloud, service cloud, data cloud, Agentforce, all of them. We call them as shape of an org. And OrgFarm and Heroku have this dynos. We have a private space. We use dynos worker nodes, goes and provisions the org, deprovisions org, manages the lifecycle, all that through our web and worker node interaction, creates these orgs for our developers, for our customers, for our trailhead users, various set of users in all scale loop, inner loop, and outer loop users, and it produces orgs by calling the APIs. Then all the information is stored in Heroku. We don't stop there. Heroku can actually seamlessly integrate with the other features of Salesforce. We have Data Cloud, which is having all the data of this Heroku, can easily connect it to Data Cloud, and we provide so many visualizations where we can add agentic view of looking at OrgFarm, looking at getting the org through agents. All the things are seamlessly integrated and connected to other systems of Salesforce. So this is a very high level overview. Now, I'll switch to show you a live demo of how OrgFarm is used. Okay. If you go to Trailhead today, this is a trailhead.salesforce.com. I'm showing you the scale loop side of things. You can go to Trailhead. You can go to Trail. I think most of you are already trailblazers, so you know how to go to Trailhead and take a trial here. I picked Agentforce build in trial. The moment goes on trial, you are able to create a playground, and that playground is powered by OrgFarm. That's where OrgFarm is embedded, and now every single trial and users are getting use of OrgFarm. Behind the scenes, as I told you, we create orgs and we provide orgs seamlessly with the shape of the org that's needed here. Then the second part of the diagram that I showed here is how it actually integrates with the other parts of Salesforce product. This is our OrgFarm 360. As all the data of all things, this is our real live dashboard that we look at internally to see how many orgs are created. All the data comes to Data Cloud behind the scenes. And this is Agentforce agent. You can simply ask a question about how many details organizations are there for last 3 months. Boom, it actually gives you. Last 3 months, we have very big events like Dreamforce. You're able to answer the question easily through an agent quietly. What this shows is we are able to bring the data, analyze the data, input and insights to what happens here through an agentic workflow. So that's actually the power of Heroku, Data Cloud, Agentforce, and Tableau coming together and making developers be more productive there to see, oh, I can get an org, I can see what orgs, what is the cost of the org I'm doing, all that things which seamlessly helps them in being more productive. Okay, now I'll switch a little bit to the second use case. In Salesforce development lifecycle, OrgFarm played a very big role in inner loop and outer loop scale loop. The other lifecycle is we have Slack. Slack is our digital workplace. As Julian has also said, we have so many Slack applications, or so many Slack channels every team member is part of. my team is part of at least I have like a huge number of people which works on every day various Slack channels. If you see, it actually slowly the lot of knowledge and context to build on every single Slack channel, or me as a human, I'm actually we're talking to various team members. I'm acquiring a lot of knowledge, and when new teammates come into the picture, we need to share the knowledge, and the new team members quickly ramp up, which actually slowly shifts the problem shifts from putting all the knowledge together to slowly going to support model. I have a question, I need to get an answer very quickly, either it's a new teammate or existing teammate or even a new feature that we are rolling out. All the knowledge bifurcates into support tickets. You need to be, some support tickets can be from customer standpoint, some of them are internal. We need to be to track the support tickets. Then once you have knowledge and then support tracking, then it goes into actionable items. You need to take action to those. If an agent or something which quickly take an action automatically, I'm a developer, I'm actually quickly running into the team very fastly. I got all the knowledge, I got all the support, I got all the actions taken care. I'm just focusing on my project and then running and becoming more productive. So for that, we introduced something called engineering agent. Engineering agent is the digital teammate sitting in your Slack channels. The way how we created this is there's a huge knowledge, but actually we bring all the data from structured data, unstructured data, all of them together into one single context, unified context, which is called knowledge. Once the knowledge is built, you take that and run that to a support where every question that is being asked are answered in support channels. Then you run actions, as I told. So this is how the engineering agent is really living live now in Salesforce and helping developers be more productive. A high-level overview of how this happens. There are a lot of Slack channels on the left side, as you see. My team, everybody, everyone in this company, also part of so many public and private Slack channels. We have engineering agent is a Slack application running on Heroku, and it is having dynos talking to, communicating to the Slack channels. Slack channels will trigger the agent, an engineering agent sitting on the Slack, and it talks to various set of Agentforce agents. I'll go a little deeper into the architecture after I give a quick demo. So I'll quickly show you live. I'm going to show live my Slack, hopefully. Right. So here, as I told, when we think about this, there are mainly knowledge-based agents. So if I have a Slack thread like this, there's a Slack channel I have, and the question is, what is style guideline about an org? An engineer asks the question. Right then and there, our knowledge, the engineering agent goes and answers within seconds because it is grounded with a lot of data. Here, if you see, it gives citations also by giving confluence. It reads documents, various set of things, and provides the answer the user is asking. This is a very basic, easy, knowledge-based agent. The next one. Now, the knowledge slowly goes not just from external wikis or external Google documents or so. Even Slack becomes its own knowledge base when multiple people are asking questions. Here, similar question where, hey, how do I employee agent, customer is using employee agent, what is an agent measured? These questions, somebody might have already answered. Engineering agent sitting in Slack, quickly helping answer that question by citing the previous Slack threads where it got answers. Then we slowly move from knowledge to support. Here, an employee asked the question about what kind of various things that he actually need help with other teammates. Engineering agent not just answering from knowledge, it actually asks a question back to users also. Hey, can you please confirm, because you asked the question, I need some clarifications. Based on some clarifications, it actually goes and finds an answers. Not just that, our Slack and engineering agent is not, our agent is not just answering to you, it actually able to bring humans also into the equation. Humans, agents on Slack is a perfect place where the developers become more productive and their questions are answered. Here, users can raise a question and bring support, and boom, like the answers are solved very, very quickly. Then from knowledge to support. Now it slowly transitions to actions. Same engineering agent is there when a user asks, hey, I need an org in OrgFarm. It actually goes, reviews all the data from knowledge and able to provide an answer. And it actually creates an org and gives the user also. Here, it has seamlessly moved from looking at the knowledge and going to support and taking actions and providing quick answers to users. With that, what it actually helped the developer be more productive. I ask a question, an agent, engineering agent on Slack, quickly able to answer me and quickly able to track my questions, because when you have so many threads in Slack, you need to have a tracking mechanism to really go and then see that answer is resolved properly. And not just that, it went and acted on behalf of me and on behalf of the system and provide me answer very quickly. It is a true digital teammate running in Slack. Okay. Now, how actually this all is done? I know this is a very busy slide talking about various components, but I'll start from left side to right side. Left side, there are various Slack channels, like Agentforce technical support, Data Cloud Fabric support, Heroku support, MuleSoft asks. There are various Slack channels I am part of, every engineer is part of. Then we have engineering agent sitting on Slack and powered by Heroku. We use, as I said, we use private space, we have Uplink, we have Postgres, we have Redis, all that we deployed and delivered engineering agent on Heroku, which works as a multiplexer connecting to various Agentforce agents. Here, when you speak about a particular channel, like I showed OrgFarm channel, it goes to OrgFarm agent, goes to Agentforce technical support. It can be powered to agent. I think pretty much most of you might be already aware of our platform, Agentforce. Agentforce provides you many AI-driven agents, which is grounded on our unified context, which is powered by Data 360. Used to be called as Data Cloud also, but it is now Data 360. How we built engineering agent is we brought various sets of unstructured data. When I say unstructured data, it is data from Slack canvases, it is from Google documents, Confluence sites, Slack threads, Google meeting recordings, transcripts, and various sets of unstructured data coming into Data Cloud and providing that readed context to agent. The agents are built to answer that particular purpose of the channel. Because when I'm going to Agentforce technical support, user is asking questions about Agentforce. When I'm going to Heroku support, I have a lot of questions about Heroku. These agents sitting in that Slack channels, connecting to engineering agent, are empowered with lots of data. Not just, they said, not just knowledge is not about data only, but it actually goes and connects through automation actions through MuleSoft, which is our any point system, connect to various external systems like Workday, Falcon, and so many other HR systems, which can help us to run actions, not just triggering, but actually actions also. So this is a very high level overview of how a Slack channel, how engineering agent being a digital teammate and multiplexer, talking to various agents and helping developers become more productive. There's a blog also we have written. Please check it out, the blog as well. Now, just to show you the scale at which how we do in Salesforce here, engineering agent talking to various sets of Agentforce agents sitting in across the SDLC. Previously, I showed you a Slack channel talking to its own agent, but actually we teed up a little bit further more. We looked at the SDLC, the entire inner loop, outer loop, and scale loop, and then created multiple agents where engineering agent becomes a Slack digital teammate and taking actions from MuleSoft, grounded on context with all Data 360, completely bringing the data and then feeding it up. We have around 11,000 plus users using engineering agent. We have engineering agent is hosted into 1,000 plus channels and almost 175K utterances. When you ask question, those many utterances are happening with Agentforce, with Heroku, with MuleSoft. Data Cloud has been powering engineers really be more productive. Now, not just that, with the impact of engineering agent, how we anticipate, how we look at is huge savings because we are quickly reducing a lot of churn and back and forth. We are saving a lot of hours, and there's a huge impact in ROI. Now, those are two examples of how Heroku, Salesforce, they're actually helping boost developer productivity. Now, I'll take a quick stab at it. I'll take one stab at looking from back how we approached developer productivity across the product and software lifecycle. As I said, it starts from inner loop, outer loop, scale loop. When we started looking at making agentic AI developer productivity, what are the various sets of operations happen in the developer lifecycle? You start from plan, where the work items actually have a lot of backlogs. You actually get signals from customers, your roadmaps, work items, dependencies, the insights about how many features are being delivered. All those are various set of jobs to be done. In code, you need to generate code. You need to refactor the code. You need to have the code to be now with all AI coding tools. So much of code to be written. That's a key thing for engineer. And then you have to fix the bugs. A lot of knowledge about the code, a lot of knowledge about the product, a lot of knowledge about what's happening in the industries. We bring all that, and not just that, we need to bring in the design meeting, design documentation, PRDs, all that to help engineers really code it. Those are the jobs to be done in the code aspect. Going to test, after you do plan code, you do build the code and you test the code across various environments. You write unit tests, Q1, which is like unit tests and functional tests, and then end-to-end integration tests, all that to be done, which is those are the jobs to be done in that particular area. Similarly, we have review. Once a code is written, tested, you need to have code to be reviewed. A lot of developers write code, and then how do we summarize the PRs? How do you do improve? What is the right best practices? How do you use various set of builds? How do you analyze the tests? How do you prioritize the tests to be run? How do you do modular the code, and so other teammates can actually leverage? Those are various sort of jobs to be done. And then once you deploy to scale loop, actually what happens when the customer actually really gets the product? There are some issues there. How we track those issues, how we operate, how we make them seamless when an issue happens. How do you reduce the TTR? How do you reduce an incident with TTR, TTX metrics? And then not just that, we really need to support developers with a lot of these cool technologies to, when an incident happens, those are the ones which we to reduce a lot of remediations and fixing times. That actually gives a really good customer value and customer satisfaction. So these are all various set of jobs to be done, which all of you know in your companies and in your day-to-day life of development. Our approach is, why not? How do you apply AI across all of these aspects here? Okay, our approach is the hybrid build and buy approach. Okay, we have tools. Okay, across all the SDLC, we have various set of tools which actually we built, and some of them, wherever it matters, wherever it's good, we actually buy also. For example, like in plan, we have Gus. Gus is an Salesforce internal application, which is available even in marketplace, even in app exchange, where a lot of customers also leverage it, which provides an easy way to find roadmaps and user stories and analyze work. Then in code, we have Code Genie is our internal, where we build internal with internal LLMs and leveraged for a while to developers to quickly write code. We even have, this is where we even have buy, where we bought, where we licensed a couple of third-party systems also, IDs also, which helps boost developers not just from building our own, but actually augment that with leveraging the industry standards, industry good things for our use cases, which really, really helps developers to be more productive. Similarly, for test, we actually have test prioritizer recommendations coming, and we built using our product, using our internal systems. Coming to code review, we actually created our internal product called Prism, which actually helps you add agentification in PR by creating summaries, summarizing the code, and also remove the bottlenecks of huge code written by AI. When AI is writing with Code Genie and third-party IDs, lots of code is written. We need to modularize the code and help understand the reviewer, help them to quickly review what exactly are the aspects of the code. And once the reviewer really understands the pockets of changes and the intent of the code writer, we understand that, and then that gives the reviewer a quick overview of huge code written by either AI or human, helps them to find the and issues and best practice easily. Not just that, like from after review, we looked at tools like engineering agent, which actually helping deploy and operate at scale with developer productivity. Now, as I said previously, in operate, it's a developer support is very, very important to, when an incident happens, quickly show them where issue happens and how do what is the knowledge and how do we track the support ticket, and then how do you do actions was easily done by engineering agent. On top of it, not just those, we even have Warden Ops kind of internally built products, which actually helps you detect the incidents and also auto remediates based on the actions and based on the scope that we have in the area. Okay, now that's how we really look at across this DLC, where we really need to build, where we really need to buy, and then augment that in a hybrid model to really empower the engineers. Now, I think one of the great seeing is that when you're looking at SDLC and trying to improve the productivity, you really can't improve that you can't measure. So one of the key things that we tackle is, hey, let's measure every single aspect of SDLC. How we can measure? Let's look at all the data. I think pretty much all of you might be aware too, and in your companies too, the data, especially when you're looking at the heterogeneous teams, the data is actually pretty much siloed. You have work items in work systems. When you have build systems, build information in build systems, deployment information, as you see on the left side, whereas Git is having code repositories, documents are in Google, you have wikis are all in various set of things. All that unstructured data is there. Similarly, when I'm writing a build, when I'm triggering a build, or my cost data, all things are various things that we use in everyday life cycle of an engineer. They're all siloed. I think when you think about measuring the developer productivity, once you measure, that data is given to the cycle here. Hey, I measured plan. I measured how much time it takes to plan. I measured code. What are the bottlenecks? How much time it takes to understand the code, give the knowledge to user, and how much time is a time factor. Sometimes it's actually friction points, it's innovation, all of them together. All the data is in silos. We really have solved it by really building a true Salesforce on Salesforce story here. We brought various set of these unstructured data and structured data into data cloud. And once we bring them into data cloud is our data 360 is our product, which actually is an easier way to do ETL of all various data sets and provide rich unified context so that agents can understand, and also you can analyze and visualize and identify through various set of products like Tableau Next and Tableau. Okay, so we brought in all various set of structured data and unstructured data into data cloud instance using various set of connectors. Here, MuleSoft has huge set of connectors to any point, which brought various custom connectors as well, and bring them into data cloud. Once the data silos are broken, you're able to connect the work management system when a work item is actually created, and code when a pull request is created with tagging the work item. You actually are able to link both of them and pull request will have code repositories. Then pull request is triggers a build system. It's a different system again. The build finishes, deploys to test environments. These test environments run various set of test cases. The test results are kept. Once the test results are there, you actually move from inner loop to outer loop to scale loop. All these sets, even though are various different silos, the moment you bring the data together, you can actually easily, nicely correlate them. So the answer of, hey, when an incident happens, when a customer is having an issue, what change happened? What is how much code that are actually delivered for this feature? Various set of, it unlocks amazing set of features, amazing set of questions to be answered. We actually went and brought all this data. As you see, the number of records that we brought in from various sets, we created almost 1,400 plus data streams and leveraged every single feature of Data Cloud. And that actually unlocks huge business use case. You can build analytics, understand the securities, availability, and develop a productivity metrics, create metrics from all this data, and then provide huge analytics value to the organization. Once you understand that what are the analytics around productivity, you can actually go and fix that particular areas of particular problems. Then once the analytics are done, not just painting a nice picture on the wall, but actually you can take it to Agentify to really bring insights, anomalies, patterns. All those things can be detected and actually provide the value back to developers, which we can go and fix by introducing new tools, new AI solutions to, and then find the friction points, gaps, and everything to really solve the productivity problems. We actually brought in various set of metrics. We have a blog also called Engineering 60 blog. It has much more details also. You can go over that. Then once the analytics are done, we went to agents. As I showed you in OrgFarm 360, we brought various set of data, especially from Heroku's Postgres, connects to the Data Cloud, and Data Cloud powers Tableau. And I showed you how we are able to visualize the data and we are able to do agent. Here, one of the key things that we have done is we brought in space metrics and we built developer productivity metrics around how developers are being more productive, how they are actually, how is the collaboration, what is the activity, what is the efficiency, what is satisfaction, by bringing all various sets of data here and empowering each and every leader, each and every engineer with what are the bottlenecks, how actually you can leverage the data and fix them in the regular day-to-day processes in the product, and not just space, but actually, as you see, like cost, how much, what is the cost to serve for delivering this feature, finding the security anomalies, all of them together, and bring that analytics. Now we are taking one additional step from analytics to insights, and then to bring agents through engineering agent and bring all this value together and providing super value to our developers and making them more productive. Okay. With that, so that's our journey about how we are taking AI, how we are taking Agentforce, Data Cloud, MuleSoft, Heroku, and bringing various set of things. I'll give it next to Julian.
Of course, Shiva, thank you. Thank you so much for that presentation. I mean, it's great to see what your team is doing with Heroku, with all the different technologies, MuleSoft, Tableau, Salesforce on Slack. Great use cases. And remember, you all folks, Heroku is the Salesforce AI Pass, and it is a force multiplier. We interact pretty well with Agentforce through AppLink. You can build the Slack applications and host it on Heroku. You can also integrate Heroku APIs with MuleSoft through the Flex Gateway at any point. You can integrate with Data Cloud, with AppLink as well, and obviously with all of the different Salesforce Cloud. And we have seen how our customers are succeeding by combining these different technologies to solve their challenges. Of course, Heroku is the platform for your enterprise scale custom applications. You can build event-driven architectures on Heroku. And of course, take a look at Salesforce as your blueprint for success. If you want to learn more, go to heroku.com to see our product offerings. And could you switch the slide for me, Shiva? I lost control. Thank you so much. And now, Yadin, it's your turn to moderate the Q&A.
Fabulous. This has been amazing. Shiva, thank you so much for going so deep into all the different pieces of the 2 different use cases that you were going over there, seeing what the user experience was and diving deep into all the different parts of the development lifecycle and how you're augmenting. So some questions that we have in here, and if those 2 who are on the line as well, please feel free to go into the questions, add some more in here. We've got several in here already. I'll try and make sure that we get to as many as we can in the 14 minutes that we have left. Let's go and start with sort of one of the big ones. And so you had a really great slide about what are sort of all the different ways in which you applied AI across the product software development lifecycle to be able to augment those different pieces. Now, you kind of went through, it was a really great slide. Like you said, there's a lot on it. I mean, the question really is around how were these pieces implemented? Was there a big plan and you said, we're going to augment each of these pieces? Was there a lot of sort of workflow process mapping first before you decided what tool was going to go what? Could you get into a little bit of that, the implementation of like, how'd you map it out? And then how'd you do the build versus buy decision on each of those phases?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And thank you, Yadin. So when we, always drive the decisions through data. Data is a key thing to make any decisions here. We started this journey 2.5 to 3 years ago. AI is journey for a while in Salesforce. But for developer productivity, for 2 to 3 years, we have been looking at it. We always start with, as I said, measure the productivity. When we look at that, we looked at various set of components and various set of products available to really measure. I think with the key capabilities about, as I said, breaking the data silos and also to really visualize it. I think having a strong products where customers are also leveraging is a huge winner for that area. Now we picked that area because customers are actually really bringing their data and visualizing them to really make meaningful choices for their business processes. When you look at build versus buy, it's all primarily boils down to what value addition that brings to developer productivity, which particular metric is going to be making more value, making more sense. That's where we primarily look at that. And when always start from measurement as a big data, we start measuring through engineering 360 kind of products internally. Once we build that, for example, for code aspects, we built our own internal tool called Code Genie, and then we looked at the data about what are the friction points, what are the metrics. Then it makes sense to bring more third-party tools to really augment that with building something in-house and buying from external. So those kind of decisions that we took to really, it's a journey. It's not just a one night or one day thing. We really look at and switch it. It's a continuous process that you constantly have to keep looking at your measurements, keep looking at your metrics, and make those decisions on when to use, when to not use.
Excellent. I think that's great because there's a lot of complexity and there's no one size fits all answer for that, I'm imagining. So another big one too that was asked is the timelines. So there was all this really great work done. How long did it take you to even just approach the project? I think that's what's core of this question is, how long did it take you to sort of look at this? Like, when did you decide that, okay, we need to have AI augmentation? And then how long would it take to sort of convince the right people? How long did it take to have the discussions for the workflow mapping? And then how long did it take you to actually sort of buy the pieces, implement the pieces, build the pieces after you decided what to build versus buy, all these different things. What did that timeline look like, and what can companies who are at that size and scale of what you were doing, like what can they expect?
I think Salesforce, I said, the scale of Salesforce is huge. Around like 15,000 engineers and a huge set of not just engineers, but actually the intercompanies are very huge with heterogeneous, right? I think when you think about the timeline, I'll give an example of how much time it took us to build OrgFarm. You'll be surprised. We did various set of things. When you have like using Heroku, it was very easy to build that application very quickly. And I know the question primarily about how it takes to decide also on tools. But I think when you really focus on quick experimentation to productization, there are various stages in that aspect. We looked at it's, as I said, it's a journey in this whole life cycle. The amount it took to experiment, and if there is it takes a lot of time to experiment and bring it production, that's where we will see, hey, building something in house where you are able to quickly experiment and deliver value. Is it faster and productive, or buying third-party tools on the same realm, which actually gives you more? This depends on it. For us, building engineering agent, building OrgFarm, building these AI tools internally, building engineering 360 is a journey. It's a journey that we took, and I wouldn't say like a super fast or super slow. It's a when you think about bringing those, it comes with operationalizing, it comes with enablement, it comes with various set of process changes, process improvements across various set of teams. These all are packaged and brought in together. Either it is build or buy, this all stays as standard, but I think always back them with data-driven decisions.
I think that's some good perspective. Another big question that's on the list here, and I'm gonna augment this question because this talks about like sort of the big challenge. And so I think that's really important. I think you touched on a little bit some of the challenges that you had when you kind of faced this, but I'm going to augment the question a little bit and just kind of put in a little flavor that I like to put in for this one, which is, was there a moment, Shiva, where you were like, is this really going to work? Like how this big challenge is like, it feels really big, and I'm having some uncertainty and some doubt, and there might be like, and maybe talk about that challenge, like the big one, and there maybe two or three of them all coming together, and how you went from like, that supporting, maybe a small group, to all of a sudden now you're supporting 15,000 engineers. But that journey, of course, there's always those moments where people kind of freak out and say, is this really going to work? Can you maybe walk through that?
I think I'll take two examples of this. I think a very good question. When I started a few years ago, I think one of the first tasks this company got is, hey, why don't you create some orgs for my team to validate it? There's no such tools called OrgFarm kind of thing. Like, hey, okay, I need to quickly go and create an orgs and provide to people to test it. We didn't even, I looked at myself to creating orgs and all those. I see challenges there. And the idea of creating a farm kind of thing and solve for 10 people was the goal. 10 people, when you see a solutions, 10 becomes 1,000, 1,000 became 10,000. Now it is in multiple thousands of people leveraging it. So it always starts with a journey of how you take the problem and apply it. The challenge was never hey, it will scale to this many people easily, right? It was never that case, but eventually, gradually, yes, these kind of solutions really apply. That's from a good story from OrgFarm. But I think the second thing is when we built engineering 360 internally, it was always a huge backlash whether we can even scale to these many people, or like there's a huge, it's not about product. Sometimes in OrgFarm side, it's a product and feature provided to developers, but from engineering 360, it changes a lot of processes also for engineers. Always the biggest challenge is not about the product to be built, but actually the biggest challenge is how that actually goes deeply into every engineer, deeply into every team. One of the huge thing that we have done is take that thing, go from sometimes top down or bottom up, like from teams, where we really have our leaders really backing those kind of decisions and do apply them in their day-to-day flow of work. For example, every quarter our executive looks at our metrics, and every monthly our VPs, they look at every monthly at their org level metrics. Then every scrum looks at every bi-weekly, every team looks at weekly. When you have these kind of processes, the challenges of adoption, the challenges of implementation, challenges of enablement, all those actually slowly deteriorates, and you actually apply those processes in your day-to-day. That's our key, one of the big challenge and lessons that we learned, and we are applying that in every single product that we are doing, be it OrgFarm, same for engineering agent, same for anything that we built, or same for even when we get third-party things. Always there will be initially a not a full adoption, slowly adopt it, and then apply the process and go to that.
This is great. I think we've got time for one more question. And this might be a tag team between Shiva and Julian, but I'm going to start with you, Shiva, on this. And this is sort of the elephant in the room. And I like having this question answered because it's really critical for the validity of the conversation. And that's, you talked about how products weren't like those are not the hard parts. Those are sort of the easy parts. The change management can be the hard part. There's a lot of other visibility in other things that can be hard. So Heroku, why is Heroku better than something else? Because there are certain problems that can be solved by other things. And yes, Heroku is part of the whole Salesforce ecosystem, so there's a lot of integration there. But I always feel like it's really important just to get this out of the way. Like, why is Heroku better than other solutions? Why is it important to look at Heroku and then we looked at this. There were other solutions, other products we could have used, but we use this because.
I can take a stab at it for Julian first. Okay. I think for me, the mainly couple of things: the ease of use and auto scale very easily, and especially the main thing, me being developer, as I said, I focus more on the development parts and deployment, not the infrastructure. That actually made us really take this further. And last and important one is you can quickly experiment it through Heroku. And it's not just experiment. A lot of other products are there which might be good for experimentation, but actually can run production workloads on Heroku. That's, I think, taking experimentation to production is what I think one of the key one of the things also. These are things that we really look at: ease of use, easy to scale, and we have like a governance and debuggability. All those things really helped us and my team to quickly iterate and then deliver value to our customers.
You nail it there, Shiva. That's pretty much the main appealing of Heroku, like the developer experience and being able to simplify all the operational aspects of running applications in production. And of course, that ability of quickly have a prototype or an experiment out there. For example, we have seen a lot of people right now building applications using Heroku Vibes, for example. They have an idea, they just prompted, and in a couple minutes, they have something already running that it's close to what they need for production. After that, what they need to do is a couple of adjustments, but they are doing everything within the same app. I will say for these specific use cases, and if you all have your data on Salesforce and you have like your org running on Salesforce, Heroku runs in the same pretty much trust boundary. So your data is not going away. It is not going to other different providers. You are keeping the things within the same ecosystem, within the same trust boundary. And our integrations are like first-class citizens for Salesforce. Now with AppLink, it's just a matter of a couple of commands, and then you have like your full API integrated with Salesforce, and you can have like a bidirectional access with the Heroku Connect. And we just announced today CDC support between Salesforce and Connect. So I mean, it's a no-brainer when you have your solutions on Heroku and you want to extend it with Salesforce.
Awesome.
All right. Well, this is fabulous. We are at time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you coming to the webinar. So much good stuff. Julian, Shiva, you guys were fabulous. Thank you so much for providing all the perspective and the information. If you want to learn more, like both of these individuals have said, go to Heroku.com. I think it's what Heroku, Julian, Heroku.com/Heroku vibes to go check out the pilot. I think that's it.
It's vibes.heroku.com.
There you go, vibes.heroku.com. And then, of
Yeah.
course, check out Julian Duque talking to all sorts of amazing people about all sorts of amazing topics on the Heroku Codish podcast. Go to heroku.com/podcast/Codish. Of course, that URL at the bottom of the screen has been on for the entire Q&A section. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you all.